Yeah, it goes right into it. Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. How are
Hello.
yous doings? I should probably put my selfie light on, maybe change my background lighting, all stuff that I should have done way before we were live. Oh, Crash, you put in sometime soon. You must have put in that comment like right before I went live. And look at you. You've got a bunch of stupid egg on your face for saying that. I hope you feel bad about yourself for that one. All
Crash is
right.
like, what's that mean? Egg on my face. What does that mean?
Well, I'll just say cum on your face. Now you know.
Ooh.
Ew.
I like how Alex like, oop, like
You're so
we were a
nasty.
fucking family friendly show. Oh
That's
my,
the Midwestern. Oop.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oop. Oh.
Shots
Hello
fired.
everybody. We are here. We are queer. We are happy. We are live. Alex's face on that was like, I didn't sign on for that.
It is June.
Yeah, exactly. I think. Basically, we're just doing what the big corporations do, and we're pandering. We're reviewing two movies tonight. Those two movies are The Northmen and Moonfall. I know, polar fucking opposites, really.
Couldn't even be close.
Yeah, yeah. Like they don't even have any shared actors. Nothing. Like probably not even any shared key grips or any of those roles.
They're both new.
They are both
Yeah.
new, yeah.
Yeah.
Newish for Moonfall. Northman's like the newer of the two. With that said, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I'm just going to presume we're doing Moonfall first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With that said, somebody fucking take it away.
Well, I was gonna ask you guys before we jump in, because off air, I was telling damn it, I was telling the boys that I just watched a new movie called Dash Cam that's really bonkers. But have you guys watched it? I know some of you guys are watching Stranger Things season 4.
Still haven't seen the last two episodes.
If I have to hear that Kate Bush song one more fucking time,
Dude, I am so
I haven't seen any of
I'm
it yet.
I'm so out of mainstream bullshit that like as far as like I'm a metalhead, I haven't heard that song more than when I heard it in the show. Like I don't listen to fucking terrestrial radio. My YouTube history isn't recommending Kate Bush.
no,
Like my
so-
Spotify damn sure isn't recommending Kate Bush. I don't know, maybe it'll fit in between Slayer and Death.
So my wife and I's love language now is just looking up Instagram reels and shooting them to each other, and
Fair enough.
everyone's making videos with that stupid fucking song, and it was never a good song in the first place.
No, when
now
No,
it's
and it's
like-
5 fucking minutes long.
dude,
I
when
haven't
For
seen
no
what it is, 'cause
reason.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, so I have to see it. So.
when they say it's like her favorite song, I was like, she's got poor taste in music.
Yeah,
Like, this girl sucks. But yeah, no, I'm on episode 7, and I didn't realize there was only 7. And I just got to it, and I was like,
still have
oh,
to
this is
watch
the
5,
last one?
6 and 7. I
So
still have to watch
that's-
six and
Take a
seven.
break.
that's another thing. I don't like that Netflix is doing this now,
Yeah.
because Disney does it, Amazon Prime does it with The
Well,
Boys.
To be fair on this one, the reason it's split is because the brothers released it, but they weren't finished with the last 2 episodes.
See, but I'm such a lazy
Mm.
piece of shit. It's like, just delay it and just give me all of it.
Yeah,
I just
Me
want
too.
all of it.
that's why I haven't started Kenobi yet. I haven't started The Boys
Dude,
yet for that shit.
I don't know how I feel about Kenobi from what
I
I've
haven't
heard.
heard good things. Yeah, I've heard really
Basically,
bad things.
basically, old Ben is Luke from Last Jedi.
You're drinking the blue
Yeah.
kitty milk.
I will say the idea of Darth Vader being in it though. I do have a lot of interest in watching it. It's just I don't know. It's I guess how okay are you with them pissing on the lineage more and more?
Yeah, I know it's. I don't know what they're doing with that fucking
Well,
the Star Wars series.
I've also talked to people and have been told that they have done things in the show that break canon, like that don't
I've
make
heard that
sense within
too,
the
yeah.
within the canon. So I don't know. Disappointing all around. Fuck Disney, bro. Oh, by
I've
the
been
way,
watching,
the Predator movie got an official trailer.
Is it
Ooh.
rated
I
R?
haven't seen that
Yeah,
one.
it's actually I haven't seen the trailer. I've
is.
ignored it. I haven't watched the trailer, but it is officially rated R, as well as The Boys today was officially renewed for season 4.
Yep.
I was just about to say, yep.
Yes.
Season 3, I have. Oh, that's right. There's a new episode. I wonder if Jen can stay awake long enough to watch a new episode.
I'm watching it tomorrow. The Boys is so fucking good. I love that
The
show.
new seasons. The dude, I know Alex has not watched it, but so I'll try
Yeah,
not to spoil it.
I've been watching Dark Side of the Ring, and then I finished Rescue Me and
Are you-
Boys.
Are you guys caught up on The Boys?
No,
I have to watch this new episode. But Alex, have you never?
I haven't even
The
watched
Boys?
season
I
2.
I haven't watched the new season yet.
Oh, you haven't watched the new
Yeah,
season.
I'm just waiting because then I power through all of it.
So, Lewis, without trying to spoil as much as possible here, when he tells her what he would do if he lost it all, Starlight, when Homelander and Starlight,
Mhm.
that conversation was like, oh fuck.
And I know it's
The good
this
one? Okay.
the end of the season is gonna be an explosion. Like I expect it.
I hope what's going on with
like a whale
Butcher.
exploding.
I hope what's going on with Butcher continues.
Just Carl Urban was born to play Butcher. Like him
Every
and
season,
Homelander.
every season he gets more like he talks more like cunt. Like every season he gets deeper and deeper into it.
Well, the best scenes in the show are when them two are staring at each other. Like especially in this season, the guy who plays Homelander does a fucking awesome job too.
Yeah, I really, and I mean, Homelander's a piece of shit, right? But like, there's just something about his character this season that I fucking love.
Well, his weakness throughout the comic and even in the show up to where you guys have watched is it's sad that he wants to be loved, but he's such a fucking monster. And there are moments in the show where you slightly feel bad for him.
Even in season 1, when he's not like people like him, people like, oh, he's our hero, but they're terrified of him, and he can feel that. Like the minute you see him, he interact with people.
Well,
You can tell like they're completely terrified of him.
So season 3, and it doesn't spoil really anything, but it takes it to a degree where like the superhero stuff is background and the celebrity profile is the foreground of their existence, like more than it's been in the other 2 seasons at all.
Also, it poked fun at the Snyder cut, which is kind of
Did
funny.
they?
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's good. You
Nice.
guys got to watch it. It's really good. But yeah, so the new episode of The Boys is out.
Well, let me see if I can annoy my wife tonight or tomorrow morning to where I don't have to go anywhere, and then that'll probably be my binge.
Dude, I don't have that out. I gotta go to
Do
a
it
wedding
tomorrow,
this
see.
weekend. I
Oh.
gotta go to a wedding tomorrow and then stay overnight.
Is it
And-
indoor or outdoor wedding?
I don't know, but the amount I'd have to piss her off to get out of it's just not worth that.
That's true. That's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's basically like, yeah, you can get rid of the ring, but you gotta go to the fucking, you gotta go throw it in the fire fucking volcano, so.
Like, do I have a shitty night or do I have a shitty night? Which one?
Is it like, do I have a night where I'm gonna be, and in all honesty, more than likely a little bored? They're her family, which are great people, they're better than my family. But, it's her cousin's wedding, and they've already had a kid.
Nothing wrong with that.
Heathens.
that was one of those
Just sit in the
moments.
back, just be like, "You're still going to hell."
Old
Yeah.
school Christian.
Jesus didn't die for this. Yeah, no, that was one of those jokes that in my head I was like, don't say it, and it was already. But no, so like, weddings they are what they are. I'm hoping to have at least a decent dinner, and I might get drunk. I'm still undecided on that. But it's also fairly close, so I'm kind of like, why are we in a hotel? I think the idea was so we can get drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't pumped into the chat yet with the Nerditude Rage emoji yet. That'll just be in real life. But yeah, but she's off Monday, so I really want to stream The Quarry, but I'm gonna hold off until Tuesday.
Did
to
you
do
guys
it.
ever finish It Takes Two?
No, and I'll see what she wants to. I mean, I am looking forward to Sunday because on the way back we'll get get breakfast or lunch or something. But because it's the wedding and then the reception, and then the reception hall is the same place as the hotel is.
Where's the wedding at?
Orland Park, and then the hall is the reception hall is in next town over or whatever. It's not far from here at all, but she likes staying at hotels and stuff.
I'm driving to Bolingbrook first thing in the fucking morning.
Pourquoi?
Not looking forward to it. My kid's performing at their festival for the Filipino festival.
Tell them to stop performing in white people land.
Yeah, or stop performing before fucking noon. I gotta take her and
For
two of her-
noon?
two
What
of her
kind
ki-
of what kind of get up time is noon?
Well, no. I gotta be there by 9:00. So that means I have to get up at
Yeah.
8 because it's
Feel
gonna
like
be
an
an hour, or
hour
something.
drive, yeah.
And then I have to wait for two of her classmates to show up here at the house. And if they show up late, they're fucking taking the bus. I'm out of here.
Oh, there's a
Too bad.
shuttle to the reception from the hotel and presumably back.
Oh, nice.
So it's my drunk ass on a shuttle. That'll be great. I had to go get new clothes today.
She needs to bring the camera.
I'll have it with me, but also isn't that kind of weird? I'm just like
Well, no, you're documenting stuff.
documenting what?
Well, just you and
Yeah,
her,
that. Why would I need documentation of somebody else's wedding?
because you guys are having fun together.
For when they break up.
That's why iPhones exist. Yeah, give it a year. I always wanted to be like, I always wanted to hate somebody that much to be that guy. Was that bitter?
So Steph is like, she's like, you're not a picture guy. She's like, all the years we've been together, you don't take many pictures. I was like, no, they're all up here. She's like, well, what happens if you start forgetting? And I was like, then it's easier to forget about you. You know how it works.
Well, I mean, like here's the thing, right? Like, let's say you get Alzheimer's. Even when you look at the photos, you're gonna be like, "Who's that?"
Who's that guy?
Like, you're not even gonna recognize your fucking self. So, like, what's the point? Yeah, if it was our wedding, I would have the GoPro on my chest and I would live stream the whole thing.
Yeah, it
Just
would
my
kind of be
cell
weird
phone.
if you were at a random person's wedding with a GoPro on your chest.
Yeah,
So it's like, why do you have it?
who?
It's like, I'm Iron Man. I need it.
I think that's just, and like literally, you just, that would actually be kind of funny if you did that because you can get a ring light and like attach, you know what I mean? Like put it around the camera. Like in Tony Stark up in this wedding. It's like, who invited you?
You could also say that this is my reality show, so I'm recording footage for it.
You're on Punked, and then they knock the cake over and run the fuck out of there because they're cops and they'll shoot at me.
Kick the kid as you're running out.
The
'Cause they're
kid?
mad at you. Yeah, because you said, "Oh,
Jesus.
kid." No,
Normally I go dark. You're just like, yeah, fuck that kid.
well, I'm saying you're the one that's gonna do it.
Yeah, kick the kid who's in like a stroller, or whatever. I don't know what. I assume they'll have the kid in a cage or something. I don't know.
Except Matt's
Vegas
been
live
working out,
streams
so he
weddings,
doesn't know his whole
vet
strength.
cells.
He actually punts the kid across the room.
Boom! It's good. And I just take a hunk of cake and run out as I eat it. Oh, buttercream. So I think this show usually has a point.
Yes. So the first movie we are talking about is Moonfall.
What's up, vet?
Directed by Roland Emmerich, written by Roland Emmerich, produced by.
Roland Emmerich.
Good job.
Harvey Weinstein.
There were no children and they were naked in it. We're fine.
Yeah, there was no young ladies to exploit. He wanted nothing to do with this one.
Roland Emmerich, if for anyone who doesn't know him, is the undisputed king of disaster movies. I
Yeah.
would probably say. Because what did he do? He did
2012.
Independence Day. I don't think he did the second Independence Day as well. He did 2012. He did
10,000. I think he did 10,000 BC.
Did you say The Patriot?
Also, yeah, he
Yes,
did do the
he did the Patriot.
He also did Universal Soldier, which is a movie
Yep.
I really like.
I
and
love
it's
Universal
terrible.
Soldier.
Day After Tomorrow.
Jake Gyllenhaal, what a fucking dream.
I have not seen 10,000 BC.
I
It's
don't
a good
remem-
movie. I like it.
I didn't remember liking it, but I literally have seen it once, and I think that was in theaters when it came out. It's been a while.
Oh wow.
And he did the 98 Godzilla, which in my head, for some reason, I always think the title of that movie is Godzilla 2000.
It's Godzilla Hank Azaria edition.
No,
I think
isn't it
Godzilla
Godzilla 2000?
No, there was a Godzilla 2000. The Matthew Broderick one was not that one. Godzilla 2000 was like a cheap cash-in that went to theaters. I think it was a Japanese movie that they brought to American theaters and tried to like re-release it as a new Godzilla movie.
I don't know
Okay.
why my
He-
Mandela effect is that I always thought that movie was called
Me
Godzilla
too.
2000.
Same thing.
I liked
Day
that
After
Godzilla
Tomorrow?
movie.
Boys were cool.
Yeah, toys were.
He wrote Stargate.
He wrote Stargate, huh?
and a lot of the episodes for the Stargate's 3 different Stargate shows.
I'm on season 3 of Stargate.
And now he's doing a revamp of Stargate.
Stargate. So the thing about Moonfall, though, which unfortunately it's a movie that fell to the victim of COVID. This movie bombed so fucking bad.
Hold on.
What?
Vet has a joke.
Uh-oh.
What's the difference between a walrus and a 19th century prostitute?
I don't know.
No.
One is hairy and smells like fish. The other is a walrus. Not
That's actually
bad.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Vet, check out on YouTube. We yesterday we did Stargate Arma Op 1. Check it out on the YouTube. I posted the full stream out there in Nerditude Streams area, so check that out. He likes Stargate. He said Stargate is underrated. Stargate's well, the movie's just got such a great cast.
Yeah, the movie's cast is phenomenal.
I've never
I like the
watched
show.
I've never watched.
I love the show, but it does suck that some of those cast members didn't carry over.
I like Atlantis.
Stargate Atlantis.
Who made fun of me for liking Atlantis?
Thank you, Vet.
Are they streaming anywhere? Any of the Stargates?
The Stargate you can find on Netflix.
I thought Amazon Prime had a couple of them.
And Amazon
maybe
Prime, I
they
think, has
do.
the rest of them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stargate, the budget for this movie, I'm seeing estimates of 138 to 146 million dollars. Box office was under 60 million.
This was a pandemic release, though, was it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this was one of those. I know some of the pandemic movies got caught in that wave of like, well, we have to release it in theaters. Like it has to go to theaters. And I think that was just the problem.
I guess the question is, how much did it make digitally? Because if I remember correctly, this movie went from like the theaters to digital within like 3 weeks.
Oh shit!
I mean, you also got to think too. Disaster movies have been a dying genre
during a global pandemic.
Yeah,
but this is also kind of like a conspiracy theory, like I told Matt, because they talk about being Hollow Moon.
Well, so here's the thing: we almost have the trifecta. We've had a AAA movie with Hollow Earth, Godzilla vs Kong. We've had a AAA movie with Hollow Moon. Now we just need Flat Earth to be in a AAA movie.
Yep.
And the fucking stars will align.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is, I had thought about this a little bit ago, but I thought about it as like a found footage movie. Flat Earthers going to prove that the Earth is flat and instead finding something much more horrifying.
Like it's square.
Oh, that would be really cool.
It's a triangle.
Basically, by the end of the movie, I would have them prove that the Earth is flat, but it's only flat to feed into another dimension.
Dude, you can actually do a Lovecraftian one that way, where they go to they go to Antarctica and they find Ithaqua, which is a Lovecraftian creature.
Yeah, dude.
That'd
like, can you imagine that? Like where the flat earthers like they prove them or they prove themselves wrong, but instead stumble on something. Like by the end of the movie, all of their research and everything points to a specific location.
Yeah,
and they think it's the end and it's the flat, and instead it's a dimensional portal.
It's
That'd be
not.
Badass.
Fuck, they're shooting fireworks off, and I hope it doesn't wake up a kid. It's not remotely like that. There's the reason the Game of Thrones show writers fucked up the last season. One of the reasons they left the show is because they got a deal with Netflix to produce a movie trilogy adaptation of the science fiction series called The Three Body Problem, and it kind of goes in the vein of like the trippy shit that Matt's talking about. Like one of the things is that all of our calculations and math and all that is actually incorrect, and it's because an alien species that's 10-dimensional has been purposely just feeding us wrong shit.
Well, Common Core would make sense then.
Yeah. It's a really good book series that's like such hard science fiction that a lot of people don't finish it. But it's got like cool Lovecraftian existential shit.
That's awesome.
But back to Moonfall. So this movie bombed. The cast is odd. You have Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson, the horror daddy, Michael Pena.
Who's the guy who plays Black Wolverine in this movie?
Wolverine.
The ex-husband of Halle Berry.
The ex-husband, yeah.
Dude, the
Oh.
Every time he
Yeah,
spoke, I
dude.
was like, "What the fuck?"
He was straight out of a army
God.
commercial. Like
It-
he's a
it-
bit too strong.
he's like
His pouty lip was driving me fucking
So-
nuts every time he talked.
I will say there's scenes in this movie where the CG is like, eh? But then there's
little
CG,
bit.
there's scenes in the movie where the CG is like, oh, holy shit, like,
Yeah.
somebody paid attention here. But the scene
So we-
specifically when he's in the building, when the first tidal waves come in, and he pulls up, and you realize that, like, it's literally just him filmed on a green screen, and it's very fucking
Dude, when he's
noticeable.
driving in, right? Is that what you're talking? Dude, yeah,
Yep.
it looked like
On
it was
his-
out of like a
on
video
his,
game.
on his
It was
motorcycle.
bad.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened?
So I mean, we spoil movies. So if you haven't seen this,
Sorry.
bye. The Hollow Moon thing when it like, were any of you guys like slapped in the face? Like, what the fuck am I
Yes.
watching? When it
I knew something like that was gonna come, but then like I got serious
No.
Transformer vibes at one point too.
When this
Yeah.
movie, so when the movie started, you're in space, right? And I'm like, okay, you're gonna see. I thought it was gonna be like a portion of the moon hits the ship, and then this fucking cloud of like alien shit comes by, and I'm like,
Nanobots.
wait a minute, what is going on here? Like, and as the movie
Which-
progressed, I was like, what the fuck
They,
is
they,
happening?
they stole that idea from fucking Big Hero 6, the little nanobot that fucking he creates in the cartoon.
Well, I mean, I think there's been a lot of.
I know, but I'm just making the joke that because they looked exactly the same, like the little bones.
I thought those were pretty cool, but I thought by the end they felt underutilized as far as like that kind of ghostly presence thing really only did anything but it attacked them, but that was like its only real use in the entire movie.
Yeah,
it also made
it
me
showed no
think
intelligence.
of the remake of Battlestar Galactica, because there's been a bunch of science fiction books or stories where we think there's an advanced race and it turns out it was us all along and that we like forgot a bunch of shit. I love Battlestar Galactica, but the ending to that show is not great.
Yeah, it is awkward.
Yeah.
Isn't that the point of Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Planet of the. What was that one the one that Matt hates with fuck? There's a drought on the planet. Planet's dying. They have to go to space. He goes down on a black hole.
Oh.
Interstellar?
Yeah,
He goes down on a
Interstellar.
black
That's
hole.
actually one of my favorite. by the
He
way.
goes down on a black hole. He
I-
deep throats a black hole.
I
It's
don't
insane.
hate that movie. I hate that movie's soundtrack.
The soundtrack is fucked up. Yeah, no,
Interstellar?
I will say. Yeah, but that's another one where in the
'Cause
end it was us all
of
along.
Nolan's films sound like the mixing guy is Michael J. Fox, and he keeps having spasms. 'cause they go in and out. If you're trying to watch him at night, you're like down, down, down.
I mean,
up, down, down, down.
half of the Interstellar soundtrack was, and he had the way he had the low end was so weird. Yeah, it's basically like, all right, guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and film this scene through that desk fan, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Someone's like, "Oh, so innovative."
No, here's what I'm thinking, right? Terrible fight scene, violence. It's in reverse. It's in forward. I want to hear the pipes.
I think Vet likes the Michael J. Fox disability joke there.
When you think of
Yeah, you
Tenet
gave a
and all
smiley
that,
face.
and like the loud like pounding, you don't know if it's like the soundtrack he's using or Michael Caine fucking chewing on glass.
I know
Like,
it's
I
weird.
love Nolan, I do.
Where should I put the mic, sir? Surprise me. What?
No, but
Hide it inside
Interstellar-
his nostril.
I
Interstellar
want
is
it
one of my
in his
favorites.
in his rectum.
I was about to say it is that.
The closest real calculations we have to a black hole are depicted in Interstellar, which is cool.
I actually really like Interstellar, but it's also a draining movie to watch. Like, you don't walk away happy from that movie. You know what I mean?
It's pretty.
It's a sad movie. It's fucked up in the
It's
end.
like the movie-
nobody wins in the end.
It's like the movie. It's like Sunshine. I really like that movie.
Oh God, Sunshine
Not
was
a happy
amazing,
movie.
but no,
What a
it's
good
not. So I do have a gripe about this movie. The creature, right? The thing that they present is when you get into the hollow moon
British
or
impression.
the mega structure, it's absorbing energy from the
White
the
Dwarf.
white dwarf,
the Dyson
right? And then it
sphere.
goes to attack them, and then the alien entity inside the building, the computer, tells him, blah blah blah. We're your gods, basically. We're you. This thing eats the energy from the I know, from the white dwarfs, and it's thousands of them are scoping the galaxy for us to kill us, and it wants the energy from the white dwarfs. There are other white dwarfs where we don't inhabit out there. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't get that. I'm like, do you want to kill us or do you want the white dwarf? Like,
Oh, shit,
go find a
that's
white
right.
dwarf.
Hat.
You're fine.
Yeah, he got redeemed for the hat. There you go, vet. You're mad.
Yeah, I really feel like
You're
moving my
mad.
headphones to where it makes sense. So I'm just gonna be the Undertaker for the next 5 minutes.
And then when you do show your eyes, make sure you flip them back, right? So we see the whites.
No, I can't do that.
Doesn't even show-
I don't even know if I
looks
could do
weird.
it. I mean,
It looks weird as fuck.
I don't know. I don't make
You
practice.
look like you're
and-
seashooting.
I mean, basically his gimmick.
Yeah, so this movie seemed like Roland Emmerich was, I don't know, it seemed like he wanted to make a movie and then it went in a weird direction. Because there are
Yeah.
parts of the movie where it seems like he's going for like a series, like even besides the fucking when you turn the hat like that, you look like backwards Kentucky. Like,
He looks like that Outback wrestler from fucking WWE way back in the day.
Order for duty, sir.
there are parts of this movie that make it seem like it wants to take itself seriously, and it goes back and forth between that and being like a fucking like Super Smash Bros of like weird scenarios.
There are moments where it tries to take itself so goddamn seriously, though.
Yeah.
Like, no, this
And-
is a serious sci-fi movie. We're talking about real shit here.
The
Like, you know?
reoccurring thieves, the ones that steal the Humvee from the kid and all that shit.
Yeah, so
I like why?
they got the dude who was in Resident Evil, and he looks like his what do you call it, like when you hire an actor for like the same roles?
Typecast.
Oh, typecast.
Yeah, he's like typecast as like a rapey dude.
Yeah.
It's like a what?
A
Rapey
rapey
dude.
dude. You know
Yeah.
who I'm talking about, right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
He
'cause
definitely looks
probably
like he
thinks-
likes surprise sex, and that's about
he-
it. Like,
He
it's very
probably
weird.
thinks like I'm getting all these roles, and
Surprise
in his
sex.
head,
He's
eventually he's gonna be like, I'm getting all
Yeah,
these roles.
he's had to be a heel his whole career.
And in every movie, yeah, I've seen him, and he's been a bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
and like either a junkie, a prisoner. Like, it's been bad.
I do find the whole, like, that's my son storyline just kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you could have had that character be somebody's boyfriend and have the same goddamn impact.
Also, the guy who plays Patrick Wilson's son kind of just phoned in.
Yeah, it's a terrible
he's
performance.
bad. Everybody other than the three behind me here, what's
You
his name,
mean
Lopez?
4 behind you?
Well, I meant these three here. I pointed this way. These three, the Tom Lopez Lexus or whatever. What's his name? John Pena or whatever. Pena.
Michael Pena.
Michael
Pena?
Pena, John Pena.
Juan Pena.
Those four were actually really good, and Donald Sutherland was kind of good.
Michael Pena's always good. I love that guy.
I like.
But everybody else that acted in this fucking movie was not that fucking. It was like Jesus Christ, what?
Dude, Black Wolverine.
Were
Like,
they-
I feel like during his
They were
scene,
doing it just for catering.
the director was like, cut. Listen, dude, you're in the military.
That's
Okay.
that's because
You're
between
high ranked.
State.
Like,
yeah, but between Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry, that was $40 million of the budget.
oh, that's true. That is true.
Patrick
Well, no,
Wilson.
wait.
Patrick Wilson's on top. He's the king of horror movies right now.
Yeah,
Halle
that's-
Berry.
yeah.
Halle Berry's a name. Like, they spent a lot of money on name brand, and then everybody else had to be Aldi.
When the movie opens, my wife goes, "Wow, that lady looks a lot like Halle Berry." I was like, "Yeah, almost as if she's really Halle Berry." And she goes, and she's just like looking at me. And then later on, she goes, "Wait, that is Halle Berry." I was like, "You didn't catch the fucking sarcasm I was throwing at you at the beginning?" Like, it really fucking drove me crazy.
Emmy's like, I like monsters. Ball Halle Berry. Like, walks out of the room.
She likes ghost shit.
Ghost
Is
shit?
she like
No,
Catwoman,
she's
Halle
not in
Berry?
Ghost Ship.
Oh,
She's in Gothica.
Catwoman Halle Berry.
Dude,
was
She's in
terrible.
Gothica.
Ugh.
My problem with this movie though is that I'm an emotional dude, and that guy's mom having
Yeah.
dementia is just like, that's a shitty fucking disease to go through, man.
Yeah,
That one got me.
Jen's dad
And
went
the-
through that sort of type thing too.
That's
Which, you know,
rough.
The
yeah.
second one was when Pena's daughter is like, I can't breathe, my tank is out. And he just tells her, just put it on, just keep going. I was like, God
Left,
damn it.
right,
Like,
Oh, yeah, he
left,
dies, right?
left.
yeah.
Yeah.
How come he couldn't have just been swapping it back and forth like firefighters do? Like every like movie you see where shit's going down like that, it's like I'm gonna breathe, you're gonna breathe, I'm gonna breathe, you're gonna breathe.
I think the reason why he did that was because he was going to take more oxygen than she was, and he was going low anyways, and he wanted her to have the rest of it.
Yeah, I
think
guess.
I think that's
I
what-
just
because
kind of
they
feel like
did
it was.
again.
I feel like it was a needless death.
But they
The
did say that
best-
the tanks were kind of empty.
The best oxygen swapping scene is in Terminator 2.
Yeah. Breathe. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, oh goddamn! Now I have to watch that movie again. I just think that whole scene where he's coming down the hallway and he's just getting fucking lit up.
So this is a tangent, but off air, all of us were discussing the other day how the Matrix series kind of ruined it because the creators were like, let's make another one. They didn't have a plan. And we were texting about how people do this where they just don't let the studio or let the studio do their thing and they keep the legacy of the thing they made. And I thought about it and I was like, the only IP that all the movies coming out after had made the original movie look better is the Terminator franchise, because every shitty one they put out just makes T2 so much better. Like you don't watch Terminator 5 and think like, man, they ruined T2. You're like, no.
Well, see,
that's
the thing, right? If somebody goes like, if the Wachowski people didn't want the property fucked with, and that's what happened. They didn't want Warner Brothers to come in and fuck with the property and pull it out of their hands and bring new visionaries in and different writers. So she basically was like, well, I'm going to make a story out of thin air. And the problem is, you know, there was a lot
Didn't
of
have a thought in her head.
well,
But she anthemed it.
No, but it wasn't only that, but then it was like during the press for that, there was like, you know, well, no, The Matrix was always a story about this, and it's like, no, it wasn't. You made a story, and now you're trying to justify the stupid shit you're doing in the new one, and it's like, I get it. You don't want somebody else to touch your baby, but your movie was shit. Your movie flopped.
I feel like she did it for the same reason Sony just makes another Spider-Man movie. They don't want to lose the fucking rights to it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, at least, I mean, Sony had 2 good Spider-Man movies under their belt.
Wouldn't that be Fantastic Four that they did that with?
Too.
They wanted to keep the rights, so they kept making.
They
did it with that one too.
Well, from what I've read though, is that Fantastic Four movie was chopped up.
Oh, Josh Trank had a cut that was nothing like.
Yeah, from what I heard, that movie actually had potential to be good, and then they fucking butchered it. So that, you know, you have shit like that go on too. I mean, I don't know. I've also been thinking about watching the Deadpool movies again soon.
Just kind of add in the background.
Well, just if you're taking a movie and you whatever you do to it changes the tone, you have fucked with that movie too much. Whether the movie's bad or good, the product is going to be what, like, you, for bad movies, there's no way to chop them up and make them better. So even if a movie's just going to be okay and it's not Avengers level on the success scale, by butchering it, you've made it one of the most hated comic book movies of all time.
So,
you saw that in Justice League. That one probably got the worst of it. It was due to family loss, I believe. I think he left because of his daughter died or something.
Yeah, but a lot of what I read said he left. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot, like, he sounded like he was pushed out. Because, and then you bring in Joss Whedon, which is nothing but an ego at this point. Joss Whedon hasn't. I mean, what has he done in the past 5 years? Like, I know he did Avengers and Cabin in the Woods and all of his past, but what has he done lately that's any good? Does anybody know? So, like, he had the controversy coming out of he's kind of a piece of shit, and they bring him in despite fans saying don't do this, They bring him in because he made Avengers, right? And what he does is make Justice League theatrical one of the most generic superhero movies of all time. He took it and he put all of the, and whether you like Zack Snyder or not, if you don't like his style, you don't like his style. But removing his style made that movie bland as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got a PG-13. And the other thing is Snyder's cut is rated R. But even if they removed all of the digital blood, because most of it was digital, you still have a much better product than the monster they put out in theaters.
Joss Whedon is rebooting Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series.
No.
It's his project. Let him fucking die on that hill. I don't care.
But the last thing he did was Justice League and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes.
Yeah, so he hasn't done shit in quite some time.
I've never really cared for Josh Whedon. It's kind of
He actually wrote almost every fucking episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
that was kind of a garbage.
I
Yeah.
didn't watch a single episode of that show.
I did. I watched it and it just got really weird at certain points. Because they did try to incorporate it with all the movies.
I can't really do superhero shows. The best superhero show I've ever seen so far is The Boys.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the like we're doing the same shit.
Yeah,
this
but
season.
but once again, The Boys isn't. I mean, it's a show about superheroes, but it's
Yeah.
not a superhero product.
Yeah, I
It
guess
is
that's probably
a
fair.
drama / action adventure that is horribly violent, and it deconstructs everything that has ever been put out about superhero products. It literally says superheroes are nothing more than the toys they sell.
When I think of the quintessential superhero show, I think of The Flash, which has been running for 75 years and just recycles the same plots, and people get different colored suits, and it's the same thing over and over and over.
I mean, is the Umbrella Academy technically a superhero show?
No.
I think that's more of like a anti-hero or underdog show.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with season 3.
Because they don't want to be they don't want to be heroes technically. They're just good at it.
I don't remember how season 2 ended. Oh yeah, no, I do.
They warp through time.
And then they meet the others. Yeah.
The new crew.
The problem I had with that show is they would show you just a little glimpse of the full team of them going through ripping shit up. There's like, you get a minute of where, and then the rest of it's it's like I want to see them in battle.
But I think that's what that show does really well, though. It gives you a taste of what you want, and just a taste, and then pulls you through the rest of the show.
Well, I'd argue if you didn't have number 5 being such a well-written character, that show wouldn't be nearly as good.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, he really holds that show together in a lot of regards. Because Wesker, I mean, he's like, you haven't seen shit from him besides Mopey Wesker. Forgot his real name, or number 1.
Harry Muscles.
Yeah, 8-Man. So as far as Moonfall, I mean, this is one of those movies that, like, it's like one of those reviews that eventually is just going to boil down to, like, my favorite part was this.
So I did want to say, if you watch this movie the whole way through, Black Wolverine helps them with the EMP device. They need to show after the movie ends when he gets court-martialed, because even if the Earth is saved, that fucker's going to jail for life.
Didn't he die?
No, actually, they all died. So
they all died.
They died.
Remember the rubble? The rubble came down, and they all that were in the room died.
It's left to where he's the only one that survives at the door.
Do they show him at the end of the movie though?
They show all the rubble coming down in front of him.
He's dead too.
No, he's I think he's beyond the room with the gun.
Do they show him after that scene? He's dead.
I don't know if they cut back.
He's dead. They show that scene where the rubble comes down on all of them, and he's never seen again. He's dead.
That's what's weird about this movie now because Michael Pena dies, and there's no like go back to like, oh, he's dead, his body. I was gonna say Black Superman.
Well, the son at the end asks about his father.
He's like, yeah, forget
He's
about
like,
him.
we never made it to the bunker, and the mother's like, that's okay. And that's really the last you hear.
She's like, I'm in love with my original husband again because my rich husband died. So I love you again. We're reunited.
Yeah, this movie does a lot of like we'll just assume they were okay.
He ends up with 2 wives at the end
Who?
because his ex-wife is back with him and his work wife is with him.
Oh.
I feel like this movie also weirdly sets up for a sequel at the end.
What is it?
Well,
with him being
in the
because of this
artificial
guy.
Yeah, because he
KC?
doesn't die, and then the alien entities like,
We have work to do.
we have work to do, and I'm like,
So-
what?
So my wife,
My wife.
we had a discussion because she had mentioned when she saw that he was now part of the moon, she's like, oh, it's like that episode of Black Mirror where they're gonna die. But I told her, I was like, yeah, but you do know they died, right? And she's like, no, they're part of the thing. And I'm like, yeah, same thing with this dude. He is dead. His consciousness is gone.
Yeah.
A copy of it is uploaded.
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
gone.
You don't actually live forever. Like, you are gone, just a version of you. Like, but I thought in the Black Mirror episode they continue living. I'm like, no, they pull the plug.
Yeah.
They're
So
dead.
even though this movie is cheesy as fuck, the Schwarzenegger movie, The Sixth Day, I always liked how they handled cloning people, because they basically did it in like a 3D printer, where like they made the body according to the specifications and then shocked the memories into them via
Back
this
into
like
it.
device.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, that's
I always
different,
liked that concept, but well, it's essentially the same thing because you're holding the consciousness, but it's just the data. There's no way to run it.
That's what I'm saying. I had to explain it to my wife. Like, if you copy me right now, and I die, I'm dead.
Yes.
There's just a copy of me
Yeah.
living with my experiences and memories,
Up until
but
that very
I
point.
am gone.
She's like, yeah, there's a copy of you in
And
the
the whole time I'm
recycling bin.
I'm explaining to her. She's like, yeah, like, hello, you're still dead.
Well,
Like,
that was that movie, the Johnny Depp movie. What was it? Transcendence?
Transcendence.
Where
Yeah.
the whole thing was he was trying to incorporate his consciousness into the mainframe?
Yeah, he technically died. It was a copy.
Yeah.
It wasn't him.
No. I don't have a ton more to say about this movie. I liked it. I think if
I
you
did
go,
too.
if you go into it with like, I'm gonna watch a big, dumb, expensive disaster flick, you'll love it because frankly, there's way more science fiction in this movie than I thought there would be. I thought I was just watching a big, dumb, expensive, but no, there's a lot in there.
The dust getting
Same.
knocked off the moon.
Yeah, well, I mean, the
At
whole
the end.
concept's really neat, especially when that moon's starting to get close. There's a bunch of different kind of things going on. You have alien Transformers-esque technology. You have the hollow moon theory. You have global disaster going on, global destruction. So, like, he packs as much of, like, threats as he can in this fucking movie. I dug it, though. I thought it was really well done. There's some goofy shit, but if you're watching this movie and you don't expect some goofy shit, you're watching the wrong fucking movie. You know what I mean? It's Roland Emmerich. I love a lot of his movies, but it's fucking Roland Emmerich. Like, the guy doesn't make Oscars.
I love also in this movie, unlike most and I love disaster movies, but unlike most disaster movies, the human element, the love story, is almost fast forwarded through this movie for you.
There's scenes where you would
the-
assume it's like gonna be like when the son and that girl are traveling together, and you just assume like, oh, there's gonna be a coupling, which there is, but you really don't see anything. It's like we walked together a little bit, now we're together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do think like every time I think of our fascination with disaster movies, though, it is kind of ironic though that like cinema and fiction in like the 20s, 30s, 40s was about like our future, and nowadays in the 21st century we're obsessed with us being fucking wiped out.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So I was just thinking about this. The character of Patrick horror movie guy. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, if this was real and he was an astronaut that had all the blame laid on him and was shit canned for losing a fellow astronaut, like, for one thing, he's out of work going from, like, seminar to seminar, but as long as he's got his bitchin' motorcycle, he's fine. That's the first thing that's stupid. Secondly, if he was a true to life, like, if this was real life, he would be, like, teaching in some college.
Yeah.
Like, some college would have grabbed him for astrophysics, you know,
Mhm.
Trig 3, like some sort of advanced math. Like, he wouldn't just be like, oh, I'm so out of work, my bum ass astronaut self. Like, he would have employment somewhere. At the minimum, NASA would have kept him on as a consultant. They would have rehired him fucking 5 years later. Like,
That's true. Or
this,
But he was
the
being a
government
scornful
would have made
person.
him disappear.
Yeah, he
That's
was a
Yeah.
scornful
possible.
person, though. That's the thing.
there's in business,
He didn't
scornful
want nothing to
doesn't.
do with-
The problem with that is like, but then it's like but his doesn't. His character acts like he's done everything he could to get back in, and they just fucked me over. Like he doesn't act like he acts like somebody who gave up, yet he's still in great shape. He still looks the same fucking age he was 10 years prior.
Well, I mean, he is horror daddy Patrick Wilson.
Like, the thing about it is, they're like, if you want to, like, I'm sorry, but you need to give me something less than ruggedly handsome Patrick Wilson, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, he, as the down and out fucking looking for work, it's like, and then you have the whole stupid deadbeat dad angle. Like, those things about this movie annoyed me. But once again, in this type of movie, they don't last very long. And,
Well, that's
you know,
what's weird. It tries to reach for like serious story beats, and then it's like,
Yeah.
nope.
family,
no.
family drama. Oh, the atmosphere is thin.
They tried to cram it in really fast.
That's what I'm saying. They fast forward through it, all the human
Yeah.
elements, and it was
So what's his name? Tom Lopez, fucking Lexus. That's a funny name. Him being the rich guy that spoils the kid, gives him everything he wants, even though the kid doesn't want it. He's trying to buy his love, shit like that. They fast forward. They try to throw it at you.
And I will say, unlike other disaster movies, this fucking movie hits the ground running. Like the minute it fucking starts, like it just goes.
Well,
Which
that
is
was
really awesome.
That was kind of the refreshing thing, is it doesn't start off like your traditional Roland Emmerich movie. It started off like Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to give my score. This one, I'm gonna go easy. I'm gonna give it a 3. I really liked it, but it does have flaws. If you're into these sorts of flicks, check them out. If you know who Roland Emmerich is and his work, you know what you're in for. I will say some of the CG's shitty, but some of it is the best CG he's ever put out. I mean, there's some truly good looking shots when that moon starts getting closer and closer to the Earth's orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, some quite stunning CG in there, but there's some weird shots too. And I think when you watch it, you'll immediately go, okay, that's what Lewis meant by him being in a fucking video game. But yeah, I'm gonna go 3 out of 5 on this one.
Yeah, I will go next. 3.5 for me. If you like Roland Emmerich, I mean, you'll know what you're getting yourself into. I don't know if this is my favorite Roland Emmerich.
Mine is
disaster
probably
movie.
The Patriot. Well, no, disaster movie. Is Independence Day considered a disaster movie?
I
would
would
say
continue.
yes.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably be my favorite. My favorite Roland Emmerich movie ever is The Patriot, though. Yeah, this is a 3.5 for me. It's a good movie. It's worth a watch. And this is the definition of a like turn your brain off and watch a goofy movie. Yeah, 3.5 for me.
3.0 for me. I liked it. I liked everybody in it at the main cast. All the supporting cast kind of bullshit, but
You don't like Black Wolverine?
no, his fucking quivering lip was bothering me. The son was another fucking bad actor. But and when I say the son, I mean what's his name's son, not Halle Berry's kid. He
Oh, I
actually
thought you meant
acted.
the actual son.
No,
You know,
but the
was
little
in
kid,
movie.
the little kid had better acting chops than the fucking older kid that was driving them around. But yeah, it's a 3.0 for me. But I did enjoy it. It was good.
Yeah, that dude was a shit actor.
Yeah.
That annoyed me.
This one's a 3.5 for me. I do love disaster movies, and this one's right up there. It's twisty, and halfway through, I feel like he was like, "Oh my god, we have to put aliens in it." Like I feel like that's what happened.
Alien.
Like we halfway through, he's just like, "We have to put aliens in it."
But the twist is, we're the aliens.
I know we're the aliens. But yeah, I did like it.
All right, do we need a break, or we just gonna move on to the next one? All right.
Keep going.
Keep the train rolling.
Next
All right.
movie, The Northmen.
The
The
Northman.
next movie is The Northmen.
How are you? We're a traveler.
If you haven't seen, you can see it on Peacock, but hopefully you've seen it by now.
Peacock.
I'm trying to eat the mic. This movie was directed by Robert Edgers, who's not done a lot of movies. He's done a couple A24 movies. He did The Beach. He did Lighthouse. He's doing a new adaptation of Nosferatu.
Ooh.
And I like him so far. All of his movies seem to have this distinct style, and he really likes using black and white camera. But this movie, it stars Alexander Skarsgård,
Eric Northman.
and a bunch of other people that I am not too familiar. Oh, and Anna Taylor-Joy, who's in The Witch as well, and
The Green Goblin's in this movie.
Willem
yes,
Dafoe.
Willem
Florgan Gorgon
Dafoe.
is in this movie.
Willem.
Bjork is in this movie.
York?
Yeah.
And Nicole Kidman.
Wait,
yeah.
Bjork? What did she play? The Witch?
The Cirrus, yes,
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
just played herself.
Yeah, right. Fucking.
So, what is your
goofy
favorite
bitch.
scene in this movie?
Ooh, I know.
Favorite scene?
My favorite.
I'll go mine.
No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
It's actually the scene where he's with because so through the movie he leaves his family for reasons, and then he joins basically another tribe, and they take over a city, and I love
Where he
that he's just like,
catches-
no, not where he's catching, where he's like washing his face, and then the chief comes over, he's like, yeah man, you did really good, and people are just dying in the background screaming, the fucking like arrows are going
Yeah.
up, and he's like, yeah, I think we did really well today. Like, they're just sitting there chatting like they're at the fucking like the water fucking spout in an office, and fucking people are just screaming in the background.
Yeah, all in a
little
day's
village.
work, really. When you're a
Yeah.
Viking, when you're a Viking that worships wolves and acts like them.
Yeah, so one thing I really like about this movie, because I'm a huge fan of
His 8-pack.
I'm a huge fan of that time period in Norse culture, and their being demolished by Christianity. This movie does a really good job of following actual Norse and Slavic traditions, and like a lot of their mannerisms and the way they talk. Like Alexander Skarsgård did a really good job in this movie. And you said favorite scene. One thing that comes to mind, it's the catching of the what do they throw at him, like
It was like a
It's a
spear or
spear,
something.
yeah.
and it, for some reason, that scene makes me think of Alex. You haven't played God of War, have you?
Not yet, not the newest
The
one.
new one. When I bought that game, I had PS4 Pro. I had just installed a new sound system in my old apartment. Had it cranked up with a subwoofer super high, and when you throw Kratos' axe and you retract it back, and it hits his hand with like a weight, like
Mhm.
that's what that scene made me think of. That's one of the best fucking game mechanics in that new
Yeah.
game.
Jen says, I generally find Skarsgård attractive, but not in this movie at all. That's because of the way he walked around like a fucking ape.
With
My
his hip- with
my
his
favorite
shoulders
scene
and-
is when he retrieves the sword and fights in his mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the movie's a simple concept, and it's
Oh,
a con.
I don't get one of those.
Oh, sorry.
I
Go
don't, I
ahead.
don't get a favorite scene.
I mean, you could be less of a bitch about it, but please go ahead.
No, my favorite one was Willem Dafoe and Ethan Hawke, the young kid.
Oh, I hated
When he
this.
takes
Scene.
him down there and he fucking gets them all fucking high.
So
And he
there,
fucking makes them bark.
the one element that pulled me out of this movie was the fucking fart scene. I was
Yeah.
like, I could've
Yeah,
done
when the kid farts and he goes,
insanely
stupid.
stupid.
He's different.
That was the most like soundboard fucking fart sound ever. Like, it's just,
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like
But
that
it was
scene at
like-
all. I thought it was just fucking weird.
But it was like right after when they come outside and they're fucking coming off their high, and the fucking all the shit happens there. That was like kind of like the one of my favorites right there was how they took over different powers and shit.
The transitions in that scene were awesome because it goes right into him floating
Yeah.
and then goes back to, like, I love the way he transitioned scenes when they
Yeah.
were on the mushroom they were on.
So, basic premise, and it's a premise you've seen in a lot of like, you've seen it in Game of Thrones, a lot of shit set in the past, and his dad is a king who's betrayed by his brother, who then takes his mother and takes his kingdom, and they were told to kill Skarsgård's character when he was a kid when this first happens. He ends up biting the nose off of the guy who's supposed to do it and escapes on a boat, basically into mystery. You come across him again when he's. I mean, the span has to be like what, 10 to 12 years later.
Yeah, because he's still relatively young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
even
was
though
about-
he's 45 in real life, they looked a lot older in back then anyway. So you can pass for it. But he's essentially, I'd say anywhere from 10 to 15 years later, especially when you're judging the age of his cousin, who is at about 25, and they were about 10 or 11 at the time of the beginning of the movie. And his entire purpose in life is to avenge his father, save his mother, and take over the kingdom again. And that's essentially it. He basically becomes a beast within these 10 or 15 years difference. And is just a beastly Viking who's successful because he's a brick shit house, and he's got no qualms with murdering anybody except for women, which also
That's
gets
true.
tested later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were known as berserkers. They essentially were normal Vikings that fought while high.
Which is why he's always talking to the gods.
Yeah.
And being able to smell his own blood within her womb.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, when he does that, and when he goes, "I smell your blood," I'm not even joking. I thought he was going to say they were sister and brother.
Well, there was a lot of keeping it in the family back then.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, it wouldn't have been a negative thing back then. It'd been like, whatever, we're all cousins.
But I mean, this movie, like before I had seen the movie, I hadn't really seen trailers, and I thought it was gonna be a story on kind of like a grander scale. For some reason, I was assuming.
Well, some of the
the
shots in
trailers
this
I
movie are
saw-
pretty epic, though.
Well, in my head, I was like, oh, the Northman is probably going to be about a guy like wiping out a king. And then like you get in the plot and it's like, no, he's actually not going after a king.
Well, in his mind he was, but then you find out that it wasn't even long after he took over his brother's kingdom. He got taken over by the King of Iceland.
Yeah, because he got it was supposedly a curse given to him by Ethan Hawke.
Yeah,
saying, as soon as you put that ring on, you're gonna lose it.
Ethan Hawke, I liked him in this movie, but he was a goofy goddamn dude. I mean, the scene where the beginning of the movie is he comes back from a pillage, and he's got a wound, and then when they finally show the wound, and it's just like freshly bleeding, and he's been home for like 2 days, and he's just had it wrapped. I was like, fuck.
And I didn't understand it till he started talking about dying, and then you see the wound, and you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
I do want to point something out. Have we've all watched True Blood?
Yes.
Okay. Jen had a really awesome idea where HBO films and writes a prequel thing to True Blood about Eric. And at the end of this movie, when he's laying there on the ground, you see Godric walk up to him. And that's his meeting with Godric.
It's funny that you say that because we had started the movie and Shay's like, oh, it's like in True Blood. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, he could have been bitten as a vampire. And I'm like, I didn't fucking think of that.
Jen said that too. Jen, as it ended, was like, "What?" And this is where Godric comes up, and that's where because the whole storyline with Eric Northman and Godric was Eric Northman was a Viking who was downed in battle and was on the cusp of death, and wanted to go to Valhalla, and Godric robbed him of the piece of that. That was his beginning origin. So it would be a cool arc if if HBO was like, we'll film an hour prequel kind of movie or hour and a half prequel movie where it shows Eric and Godric and him becoming a vampire. That would be cool.
You could just slice this movie into
episodes
of True Blood
with the later scenes where they show Godric meet him. You probably really could.
Yeah, that the scene Giovanni's talking about though, where they attack the village, it's cool and it's a good representation of what it was like back then. Because the terrifying thing with
the rise of the Northmen, his name is Eric Northman.
The terrifying thing about the Vikings to the Christians were that as a Christian, if you die, you go to heaven, And for a Viking to die and go to heaven, they have to be killed in battle. So like it's a win-win situation for them, because if they come over the wall and kill you, they won. If they come over the wall and you kill them, they won. So that's what makes them so fucking terrifying. Is because they're
Yep.
gonna come regardless. Like
I do feel bad for the end, towards the end when he meets his when basically spoiler alert everybody obviously, but the movie is a little slow to begin and then he starts fucking because he ends up becoming a slave to his uncle essentially.
He just starts straight fucking.
And
That's-
just starts
that's what-
fucking his uncle right in
he
the
makes himself a
ass.
slave. He makes himself a slave.
Yeah, he jumps on the slave ship and makes himself a slave. Then he fucks
Somebody
his
clip
uncle in
that.
the ass.
Then
No.
he just starts fucking.
Just starts
And then-
fucking everything
He had a
that
chance to
moves.
fuck them all.
Um,
But he chose to only fuck
yeah,
one person.
he decides instead of straight up slaughtering him, he's gonna ruin his life first. He's gonna take
Yep.
everything he has away from him. He does draw a line to where he says he will not kill a woman because his mother tells him basically, "You're a rape baby, and I never loved your father, and I actually love my husband, your uncle, and our child together is a love baby."
And she
Yeah.
asked him to kill him.
Yeah.
To kill.
Yeah,
his
he was
father.
after his uncle the whole time, but it was really his mother
Yeah.
who was the source.
Yeah, she admits
this
that
entire thing.
she sold him out. It was her
Mhm.
idea. She begged the uncle to do it.
so
She
And-
was
it's
the
not
she was the snake in the fucking ear of the apple.
it's
and shit.
it's nowhere in the movie implied, but because of we had finished the movie and because of the ghost scene where he hallucinates fighting the skeleton to get the sword, it made me think at the
Draugr?
end. Yeah, it made me think at the end. It's kind of a cool idea to think like, did he succumb to his wounds and not make it to fight the uncle? Like they could have played it off that way too, or made you think that
Yeah.
he possibly didn't actually make it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Vikings want to die in battle. So if he didn't actually go through with that battle, he would be going to Valhalla.
And I
Also-
love that concept of in this movie. There's a scene where he kills basically his mom, and I believe it's his cousin, his uncle's son, the littlest one.
Yeah, who stabbed
And then
him a
his
million
uncle
fucking times.
comes in the room, and instead of like going in a rage, he just picks up his wife and his
Drags
son.
her.
He's like, "Yeah, I'll meet you
I'll
at the
meet
gates
you."
of
The
hell."
way he drags her
I was
body,
like,
though,
"What the fuck,
Yeah.
dude?" Like it was just straight like
Which,
raw
by the way,
power there. It was crazy.
the fight scene between him and his uncle in that volcano was very reminiscent of episode 3.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a hell of a choreographed fight. The best fight in the entire movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was the best choreographed, the best shot. Because all the other fights are more or less Viking chaos. And there's only actually a little bit of that fighting, really. Because then you get him fucking with the uncle. And then you have the eventual... He makes himself get captured so she can... He basically falls in love with this other slave as well.
Witch. She's a
and
witch.
she's a witch, yeah, and she helps him several times. She falls in love with him, and then he throughout the movie they couple, and then spoiler alert once again, by the end of the movie, he's basically like, "Fuck it, I've done enough damage, let's go." And then they're on the boat, and he smells her, and smells that his blood is and talks to and sees the foretelling because he's always high, as Lewis said, basically. So he sees the foretelling of the prophecy, and that says basically, as long as the uncle lives, the children, the twins that she's going to have will be in danger. So he jumps off
Well,
the
he must
fucking
choose,
boat,
yeah.
and he's like, I'm going to go back and finish this. Which is an
I think
awesome
one of
scene
the-
in
Also-
itself when he finally goes back and he's just ripping shit up.
What? So, with that being said, what was his sword? A thing in his head where he couldn't draw it, or was it really a sword that he could only draw at night
He wasn't...
until he was fighting?
No, he wasn't fighting. He was distracting.
No,
Mhm.
I know, but when it was when the sun was rising, he tried to pull the sword a couple times, so that he just used it while it was in his sheath, and fought those other people off. And then later on, when they were actually at the river of flames, then he was able to draw it whether it was day or night.
The only scene I remember him fighting it with it sheathed was when
he
he
distracts
when he
them.
was distracting them
No.
so she could run away.
But he
Yeah.
told her that the sun was. Or there was a part where he says the sun's about to rise, and then when that started happening, he tries to pull the sword and he can't. So he starts
There
fighting
are a
with
couple
the sword.
scenes,
I didn't-
and then
I didn't get
there's
that out
one
of
where
it.
actually one of the guy, someone else tries to pull the sword from the sheath. But again,
That's when
gotta
he's chained
you gotta
up,
remember
yeah.
though, he is a berserker and typically on hallucinogenics. So I mean,
It's
was it
yeah, it's
really a
all
thing? Was
Yeah,
it
but
not?
isn't that the whole point of the scene where he fights the goddamn bearer of the sword and then he goes back to reality and it crumbles? That none of the lore
It
means
never
anything.
happened. It was just it was
Mhm.
It's
all
just
it.
a sword. So
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's just all hallucinogenic.
Because it happened there too. It happened there too when he was in the moonlight or some shit. He tried to pull the
well,
sword.
the
It didn't
creature
happen.
itself couldn't go in the moonlight.
Yeah, but there was a part where he tried to pull the sword and he wouldn't let it. In
I
that
don't
fight
know
scene,
what
and
you're
then later
talking.
on,
I don't know what you're
it did
talking
it.
about.
It
He
did it
didn't
when
have the
right before
sword. He didn't have the sword until after he killed the creature. I thought.
when he tried to
'Cause
hide,
it
when
got
he hid the sword
it got
on the
hit out
roof.
of his hand.
No,
He hid the sword on the
there
roof.
is a scene where he's hiding by a bush, and the uncle is about to come up.
Yeah,
and he goes to
but
And
no,
he
no,
tries to
pull it
pull it
out.
and he won't come out.
no, incorrect. I at least I didn't get the fucking feeling that he couldn't unsheath it. He was preparing to unsheath it. Had somebody walked past him. I don't think that was anything of he couldn't get it unsheathed. He was waiting for the right moment to kill, and it never came about that time. I'm going to straight up disagree with that analysis of that scene. Just because he had it this much unsheathed, he's ready to go, and then they don't come across
Well,
that threshold because he's.
the
You
part
gotta
with
remember,
the
he's.
uncle- the
You
part
gotta
with the
remember,
uncle
he's.
actually-
Well, hold on, please. You gotta remember, he's hiding on like stealthing like Snake on the side of that building. So I will agree, there is an absence of depth of field, to where they don't do a great job of showing you where he is compared to where the uncle is. But he's hiding behind the wall, waiting to fully unleash it to kill him. He just never comes across the threshold. At least that's how I saw it.
That was with the uncle, yeah. There that part, yeah, you're right with that one. But there's another part where later where he does try to pull it out and can't, and he starts just fighting everybody with it.
But is
And
that the scene when she runs away? Because if it is, he wasn't trying to fight. He even tells her later he was only distracting. They have a conversation later about that.
No, I think it's another scene, because there's another scene where he tries to unsheath the sword, and then there's a third scene where he's tied up, and one of the other dudes
That's the yeah.
tries to
That's
unsheath the sword. And he's like, fuck it, and he throws it
and
to
he
the
throws
side.
to the side.
But again, it makes me think, like, is that something in his head?
Yeah, that's what I was
that
saying. Is it in his
just-
head?
That he was just thinking that? Which it's weird once you get into the Viking lore, because he's always on drugs. You're like, well, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I do want to point out though, this movie has one of my new favorite fucking quotes, and it's when Anna Taylor-Joy character, who's Olga, she's talking to him while he's leaning on one of the huts, and she's talking about everything he's gonna do. And he tells her, I had to look up the quote to remember, but he's like, that and more, it's a nightmare. And she looks at him, she's like, if it's a nightmare, then you must wake up. And he says, no, it's their nightmare. Like, just the intent of like, no, I'm here to fuck up the village. Like, I'm the one. He pulled a Breaking Bad thing, but like, I'm the one who.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I love that line.
He becomes like a demon haunting them.
Yeah.
And with the kills, he turns the fucking 3 bodies into a centaur.
That was an
Yeah,
awesome
kill.
fucking
It was
scene.
amazing. Yeah, I was like, that's so good.
And then he cuts the heart out of the son, and then he says, "Is that really your son's heart?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had so many good kills in this movie. And there was, to the effect of this movie, there is not a lot of violence, I feel, in this movie. But when there is violence, they do a very good job at allowing you to see the intensity and effect of that violence. It's very well done.
It's a pretty tight-knit story, and it wasn't the story I was expecting when I thought of the movie. I thought this dude was gonna go on a grand quest to kill this king, and even in the movie, like, he's badass, but it's more of like the psychological shit he does to this uncle and his farm.
So you are correct. The Nightblade itself was taken from, essentially the director and writer took it from stories passed down about these swords, and it's called the Nightblade and can only be wielded at night. So that might be. See, I thought he was just distracting, but even in that scene, he might not have just been able to wield it.
But
My
again,
question-
if he's on the drugs he's on, he
That's-
probably believes that.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to ask.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys believe that it was him?
You
I don't
you
know.
are correct. And there are scenes where he like almost unsheathes.
Yeah, it's
it,
like
and then
this
there's other
much
scenes where it
out.
just doesn't want to go.
Yeah, it doesn't want to
Mm.
move, but then the other times it gets almost there.
But that would make sense of why when he was hiding behind the wall, he was able to unsheath it a lot because it was nighttime in that scene.
Yeah.
Also, he scared the fuck out of that dog in that scene.
He's like barking at the fucking dog.
What I do love about this movie is that I think the tribe you follow specifically uses these hallucinogenic mushrooms, because when he comes back after the sex scene, he pulls the mushroom out of the ground and he basically tells her they don't know the power
them
of
all
these
high.
mushrooms. Yeah, he basically gets
Yeah.
them all high.
That was
So
a
I
cool.
love
That
it
was a
that
cool
they
scene
follow
too.
that
They're all vomiting and fucking
Yeah, they're all
screaming in the
going
background.
crazy.
And
That's awesome.
if you guys haven't played it or anyone watching this, I believe Microsoft owns the studio now. The game Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Have
Yeah.
you guys played that?
Yeah, several
That's an
times.
amazing fucking game.
Mhm.
Sequel's coming out either this year or next year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on a big Viking kick because of this fucking movie. I've been
Even before
watching the
that,
show
you were doing that
Vikings.
shit.
Yeah, well, I read Viking history.
Were
books 'cause
you? Have you played the new Assassin's Creed?
Valhalla,
I've-
yeah, he
I've
was playing that.
played a fuck ton of it. I need to get the new expansion.
Do you
but
do you have an Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Log into Twitch, connect it, and there's a bunch of content you get for free through them.
Oh shit. Just
Yeah,
like add-ons.
Because
like,
because
DLCs.
Amazon owns Twitch, you get the Google Twitch Prime benefits or Twitch
Yes.
Prime login.
Sometimes they give you games. Like I got Oblivion for free. I didn't have to buy
No,
it.
they give games
Yeah.
away free every month.
Yes, there's like at least 3 games every time for free.
Yeah, I had to stop playing Valhalla for a bit because there was a bug that made Avar you would just be running and then you would disappear and you would see your character like traversing and it's saying like you're entering this area, you're entering, and it's because you would just go into the skybox and keep going until you turn the game off.
Right now,
We're entering Valhalla.
Far Cry 4 is a free game.
But it's
Wow.
only on PC?
Yes.
Yeah, but the content I think carries over.
As long as your Uplay accounts are linked. When you log
Yes.
into Prime, it's gaming.amazon.com, and you log in and you'll have to link your individual accounts to where it
Mhm.
needs to go.
Yeah, 2 drops for PC, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever, Stadia, and Amazon Luna.
Stadia.
Stadia. Who the fuck uses Stadia? What?
I know, dude. Dude, they fucking ruin those people. So,
Well,
and I
you-
feel I even feel worse for the people who fucking like
Yeah, but-
went to the ends of the earth for that fucking
the
console.
real fucked up part of it all is Stadia, a huge flop, and then Microsoft waits a couple years, makes the technology better, and all of a sudden they're like, stream your shit to anywhere you want, any one of your devices. Hey, there's games on the Xbox One that you can't play on PC because they're 360 and backwards compatible. No problem, stream them to your PC.
Mm-hmm.
You guys think that's bad? I knew someone who went all in on the Ouya.
Ooh, that little
heard of that
the
one.
little cube that couldn't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It was an Android little cube. It was an Android gaming console essentially.
Oh.
Well, then
I was guilty. I was guilty of the HD DVD.
what was the one that
Well,
was the
The porn
handheld?
industry won that debate.
Do you remember the handheld gaming device that was also a cell phone that had the weird slotted cartridge games you had to buy for it?
Oh my god, that's what fucking Soldier Boy modeled his first console a second console after,
Oh god, he has 2
and got in
consoles?
trouble for it.
Oh
Soulja
fuck, I
Boy's
can't remember
not
what
The
it was
exact
called.
device you're talking about.
I almost bought one when they were like after they had completely failed, and it was like $20 at a GameStop. But I was like, I'll never use it. And if I would have kept on, they're probably selling for a decent amount, just as like a collectible. But yeah, that was a huge flop too. You guys good getting our scores out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yep.
first. I really like this movie. I give this movie a 4.5. I did have some fun because I watched it with Jen, and you know me, I'm into the weird shit. But every time like the weird scenes would happen, like I'd look over at her, she'd be like, she'd have that face like, what the fuck? And I kind of like, oh, jeez, this is getting weird. And she's not a weird movie person. She still hates Dark City, and her only thing she'll say is, "It's just so
Such a
so
good
weird."
movie.
That's
That
her
movie's
only.
so
It's
good.
the only thing she'll fucking say is, "It's just so weird."
That movie is literally in my top 10. It
Yeah.
will forever be
That's
in my
what
top
makes
10.
it so good. Though it's such a
So
bizarre
good.
movie.
I'd love a 4K transfer of it.
Oh
They'll
god.
never do that. I don't think you'll ever see that movie on 4K. I mean, it was probably a flop.
If you're done, I'll go next. For me, this is a 4. I really liked it. Again, like what you said about Jen watching it with you. My wife watched Northman with me, and to hear her response to everything, she's like,
For like
"This
his
is so
body's
weird."
so good looking.
She's
He
like,
was
"Why?
jacked.
Why?" Well, no, she didn't mind that part. But she was like, "Why do they have to put this in a movie?" I'm like, "Because they're Vikings." And she's like, "But why do they have to do it like that?" I'm like, "Because that's what it was like."
I do find the irony
It's
of Vikings calling Christians the savages always funny.
like
Like they're literally coming through the villages, raping and pillaging, and they're calling the Christian faith savages.
they're
I
raping
mean,
their horses and
ironically,
riding
you
off of the
can
women.
if you were an atheist, you could blame Christianity for there not being Norse.
Well,
mythology.
remember, the Crusades never happened.
Yeah, but the Crusades were
Remember that.
way past the Viking era. But I mean, Lewis is right there. No, the Christianity is what ended up taking out the Vikings because they were attacking Christian. They were attacking Christians because they were Christian, and
Mhm.
then the old kings got tired of it.
But yeah, for me, it's a 4.0, and I did like this movie a lot.
I'll go. This is a 4.5. I did really like this movie. The Viking period is my second favorite. First is medieval. Third is Egyptian. I do love those periods. So any movies in those periods are pretty awesome.
Fourth
That's why The
Stargate.
Mummy is so good.
Jen doesn't like
I
those
love The
movies, and
Mummy.
it makes me
Yeah,
so
like
mad.
16th
What?
and 19th century.
Dude, I was like, hey, you want to watch The Mummy? Like she's seen it before and everything.
These
And
movies
I
are
want
amazing.
like
another
out
Mummy.
out of
Give
the
me fat Brendan Fraser.
out of the
Bring him back.
fucking blue, she's like, I don't really like the Mummy movies. And I was like,
I
what?
think he could get in shape for a new
Get
one.
her out.
I was like, who doesn't like the Mummy movies? And she's like, I don't really care for them. I was like,
Get her out.
the
He'll
fuck?
be a villain in a DC movie. I hope
think-
he does really well.
I think Brendan Fraser could come back for a new one if they told him, gave him enough time, and he got in shape.
No,
how about this?
I want
Yeah.
fat, happy.
No,
Brendan
yeah,
Fraser.
don't go get all
Well,
don't go
at least give him enough to where he can move.
lose a little bit of weight so you can do stunts
Exactly,
or
so he
whatever,
can- yeah,
sure.
so he can move
But I
around.
think the whole point of it is he should be a little bit fat. He's older. I mean,
He's
at
been drinking the beer
No.
a lot.
at this point, his kid's like 78 years. Like, do it so it makes sense.
I want him on a mobility scooter. I want him to be having fun.
No, he's driving around in the Tom Cruise fucking hover round. The hover round.
Nah, fuck that. I want to see a Mummy sequel where he's in World War II. I know it's like, how many years after the first Mummy is it? Or the third one, though?
I don't know.
I feel like it was around that era because I think the first one was set in the 20s.
So he would have to be in his 50s.
He'd have to be fighting in his 50s, yeah, essentially. I'd
I
watch
love
it.
all three of those fucking movies. I don't care what anybody. They're like the Santa
timeless
Claus for
movies.
me.
Yeah.
All three mummies.
It's
I
a
love
weird
them.
comparison, but yeah.
Papa Gigio.
But did you give your rating?
4.5. Yeah, no, I do. I
Okay.
did love this movie. It's really good.
Yeah. So for me, I adore the. For one, Robert Edgers is a dude where like I just want to see him put out more stuff. All three, including this movie, all three movies he's put out, I just like he has a style that's clearly coming through. So, like the night shots where it goes to monochromatic, like black and white, into adding a bit. Like I just love his style. I want to see more stuff from him. This is a 5 for me.
His usage of actual built big sets is also pretty cool.
Yeah. It should be a 4.5. Giving it a 5 is a bit unfair because I love history books. My wife makes fun of me because I'll fucking read Dan Powers, all his history books. And I love the Viking culture. I think Skarsgård was a perfect. I mean, granted, he has a Danish name, was a good pick for this. I liked all the acting. I should knock a point off for that fucking fart sound they use. Could have done without that. Like, dude, I rolled my eyes when I heard it.
But I think you should give a plus for the scenery in the background. That fucking green scenery where the waterfall is at, where he heals himself.
It's a
That was
beautiful
amazing.
movie. And
Yeah.
the fucking like the severed skull of Willem Dafoe talking.
Yeah, his head when he brings it over and it's talking to him. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, and all the like ethereal like not real shit, because Vikings were just doing drugs all the time.
It was cool to see, like,
they were always
from
on
that
psychedelics.
perspective. Yeah, it's because I haven't seen. I don't think there is a Viking movie that does it that close to
the show Vikings. They go into how much they do
the show
pretty good.
Vikings is really good. The
It is.
Netflix, new Netflix one is pretty good, and also Bernard Cromwell writes this series about the Anglo-Saxons that they made The Last Kingdom. They made that into a show on Netflix. If you like, yeah. So 5 for me.
Well, hey, real quick, Matt. The last Mummy with Brendan Fraser, I believe, was Enter the Dragon Emperor.
Yeah.
So that one took place in 1946.
So that's already post-war.
It started in 1923, and his tenure ended in 1946.
Yeah, I mean that movie came out post-war, so it's a little hard to do that. But I mean, tell me you can't do exploration with like the New World being industrial era, right? So let's say he was around 40, 45 in 46 in the year 1946. That means you could theoretically at this point take him to where he's like 55.
Absolutely.
So put it in the 50s.
No, dude, put it this way: if they can continue making Indiana Jones movies, they can make another fucking Mummy.
No shit.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, that's right. He's 7,000 years old.
Are they doing another Indiana Jones?
They are doing another Indiana.
They are. He's coming back.
Didn't they just wrap filming?
I believe so. I believe it's over with.
Yeah, I think they just.
Filming, yeah.
He got injured doing it too. Didn't he like break his back or some shit?
His back. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I knew he got injured. I don't know his back.
Man, do you own all the Mummy movies? All the Mummy movies?
I believe so.
The Mummy movies.
Yeah, on Vudu, I believe.
I think I'm gonna have to watch them.
All right, gents. Let's wrap this bitch up. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching. I will see you Tuesday, maybe Monday, but doubtful. For sure Tuesday with The Quarry. And then we move on the week from there. Double stream Wednesday, presumably. Which maybe the morning might be a double dip with The Quarry. However, I do want to get a couple other things too. So Thursdays is Arma for the next 7 weeks at least, if not longer.
Yeah, please check out Matt's Arma shit that he's doing right now.
Yeah, I got a bunch of clips on the Twitch. I got to post them to TikTok and shit. And then I did post the entire stream of the first operation, which is Operation Stargate. So check all that shit out. And Lewis is going to be taking the next few weeks off. So it'll be Alex, Giovanni, and I. And we'll see what we want to do.
All pornos and porno parodies. That's what we're doing.
Pornos and porno
Anthony comes back.
We'll start with the 80s. Debbie does
You
Dallas
guys should
first because it's fun.
70s, isn't
some
it?
of the Mummy movies.
I would totally be down for the Mummy movies.
I have a couple of suggestions I was thinking about earlier, but some of them are off pairings. They're not like coordinated very well. It's just kind of like this and this. This movie would be fun. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening.
We definitely define the movie Moving with Richard Pryor and Dana Carvey. And then when Lewis comes back, we'll do that movie with him.
Oh, please God, no.
Oof. No, I think the episode Lewis comes back, we should do Grown Ups.
Grown-ups. I love those movies.
We talked about
2 or just one?
Both, yeah, as the episode. We talked about doing those a month or two back, and we said let's wait for summer.
Right, yeah, we'll do that.
So I think when Lewis, although when you get back, are you coming back before, after the July 4th?
It'll be after July 4th.
Okay,
that's my.
So we don't get to see you for your birthday. So happy birthday!
Way too early to say it.
It's a month.
Fuck that, Lewis. I ain't telling you until 2 days after.
It's a month.
All right, everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching. Bye.